Hey everybody, it's Daria from Team Fit Mission, and this video is specifically talking to new coaches and scheduling because I know as a coach that is the hardest thing to get your arms around is scheduling. And having a good monthly strategy is always great in terms of what are you doing during the month? What are you doing? Are you talking, do you have a new challenge group coming up? Are you going to be talking about that? Do you have a coaching opportunity call coming up? When are you going to talk about that? But I'm talking about dialing it down to even daily schedule. Like, how are you fitting coaching into your life, and how do you do that? And for me, the biggest and most impactful thing was to create a schedule, and I want to show you how to do that pretty easily. There is many ways that you can go with this, and after over 2.5 years, this has definitely been one of the most successful ways for me. Basically, you bucket your time, and then you put it out in a schedule, and I'm going to show you my Google Calendar, and anybody can get a Google Calendar, and then it's really easy to color code and mark those times and how you're going to do it. And so long as you put it into the calendar, it can sync. It actually syncs with my iCalendar, and it also syncs with other scheduling apps that I use. But let me turn the camera around and I'm going to show you this. So right here you can see this is my Google Calendar, and you can see all those colors, right? So I'm going to show you a daily view so that we can kind of dial in a little bit closer here. I'll show you tomorrow so it's a little brighter. So right here you can see when I start my day at 4:50. So it says 4:50. So around 4:50 I actually get up first thing in the morning. I do some personal development and I start to write out and schedule my day here. So I write a list. I'm a big list person. What do I need to do? Who do I need to follow up with? What is on my daily schedule? Then at 5:30, I had this mark that I'm going to work out. I'm going to work out. I'm going to post to my groups. I'm going to check in with my challengers. And then at 6:30, once I'm done with my workout, I head outside. I have horses, so I need to feed and muck and do barn chores. And when I'm doing that, I'm listening to personal development. So I actually listen to an audiobook. So at that time, so in blue here, this is all the stuff that has to do with me. Me taking care of me, basically, it happens first thing in the morning. Then I have, for my kids, basically this is a family focus, and I have to get my kids ready to get on the bus, right, and go to school and make sure they're fed, so I mark that off. Then I need to get myself ready for the day once everybody's on the bus. And then I block off business hours. So I have business hours blocked off here from 9 to 12. I actually do block off time for lunch because if I don't, I usually forget. And then I have more business hours from 1 to 3, and then I have a family focus. And then I even mark off time that I have to check in to talk to my husband. Basically, I do block that time out because if I don't, then most of the time is, we could go for a couple of days just kind of doing what we need to do and not really touching base. So I do block that off. And then I do have some more business hours at the end of the day from 8:30 to 9:30. So just to give you an idea of how to set that schedule up, you can get a Google Calendar, and you can, or any calendar really, and you can set that time up. But what's important is I did used to work a regular full-time job where I was working a 9 to 5 job, or 8 to 5 or 8 to 6 or whatever you want to call it. But basically what I did was then I pushed my coaching business hours around. So they were more in the evening for me. So my calendar looked different than this in terms of my business hours and how I talked about my business hours. But I really kind of segmented my day into 5 or 6 big segments. And then during the times that I allocate, I would try to write a list and say, okay, what do I need to get done during this time? What are the top 3 things I need to get done during each one of these times? It's pretty obvious with getting for the kids and stuff, but for my business hours, what is it that I need to do? That I need to schedule things into my challenge group? That I need to get back in touch with some people that have reached out to me about programs? What do I need to do in terms of my business? And I promise you that if you write it out and if you actually schedule it. You may not stick to it every day, and you may fall off and kind of like, you know, you set this schedule up and maybe you didn't really get all the business hours in that you wanted, or you fell short, or you kind of messed up and didn't get there. But it's sort of like if you don't put it out there and schedule it, you have zero chance of actually executing on it. So make sure that you sit down and write a schedule and find out what fits you and what's right for you, because it took me literally a couple of years to find a system that worked well. The Google calendaring works great for me. I can color code it. It links and actually works right with my iCalendar, and then it also works with my Acuity scheduler. So when I want to talk to my clients or I need to talk to people, everything kind of syncs up and I don't have to worry about things bumping in, and my blocked off time stays blocked off. And because we have to block time off for ourselves too, guys. I mean, it cannot be like a grind. I mean, and I know it seems silly to block off lunch, right? But how many times do you like work through lunch? You can't do that. You know, you have to have that time. In my workout time, that has to be blocked off. I've got to get that in. So I hope this helps you. If you guys have any questions, post them below. I'm happy to share. I can definitely do a screenshot of my calendar too. Have a great day, guys. I hope that helped. New coaches, I'm telling you, it's the secret sauce. Get that schedule under control. Have a good one.